Welcome to the Indie Horror Junkie Podcast. Tonight, you will be joining rotting Ricky and Asylum Aimee as they play host to some of the true movers and shakers in the indie horror scene. So lock your doors, check under the bed, and get comfortable, because here we go.
And I'm Sylvia Saska, and we're the Saska Sisters, and this is Indie Horror Junkie! Indie Horror Junkie! Indie Horror Junkie!
Hey, hello, Junkie.
What is up, Junkie?
Not a lot. Of course, we have a great show going on, so we want to try and get to our guest as quickly as possible. So why don't we go ahead and go over the housekeeping that we've got right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see. First off, just to remind everybody, we've got
The
our
clock.
Oh, there we go. We'll go ahead and do that. The clock. Yes. Some of you may remember that. We've been talking about it almost every freaking day. This is our first feature film that we put out. It's currently out on streaming on pretty much every platform. You can also buy the special edition Blu-ray, which comes with audio commentary and a little behind-the-scenes featurette, which is really cool. But those are all these streaming services. I did say on that thing, dude, I got to update this graphic where it says coming soon to Roku. That is not true anymore. It is now on Roku. So I just checked it out last night, so it's available. So definitely, it's out there for free on Tubi. You can see it on Prime, whatever you'd like, but definitely check it out. Drop us a review. Be gentle. You know, we have put a lot of hard work into that, and we hope you enjoy it, but that's our first feature film. Our next feature film, which is getting ready to come out, well, it's going to be getting ready to go into production. We're just going to be filming the first part of 2026, is one that we're very excited about. It's called Reels of the Dead, Volume 1, The Theater. Now, Reels of the Dead is an anthology, so we're going to have a main wraparound story, and then we're going to have 3 short films, and we intend to make multiple ones, and each one's going to be different, kind of like American Horror Story. Amy and I will be the stars of it, but we're going to play different characters each time in the wraparound, and then we're going to have some of the best horror shorts the internet can provide that'll be part of it. We're very excited to give you more details on that one, but I think I've given you enough already. As we get closer, we'll definitely give more.
Guys will just have to stay tuned.
Absolutely. And next up we have the Nightmare Collection. Now, the Nightmare Collection is something we started back in 2001. I did Volume 1. Then we did Volume 2 a couple years ago. And Volume 3 we just recently did to close out the Necronancy saga. Those are all now available on DVD. So feel free to go to IndieHorrorJunkie.com and order your copies now. You can get the Unholy Trilogy, all 3 of them for a discounted rate, or you can get them individually, whatever you would like. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, we've got this little thing called the Indie Horror Junkie Film Fest, which is currently open for submissions. We're getting ready to get down to the last submission process. So if you have a short or a feature film that you would like to get involved, head on down to the IndieHorrorJunkie.com, and you can get the link there through Film Freeway. You can send us your film, get it in there, and then you can join us at MegaCon Orlando, which is coming up in March. And you can join me, Lance, Amy, and 250,000 of our closest friends and see your movie on the big screen, hopefully. It's a great time, an incredible event, and we think you're going to love it, so definitely get your films into us.
Yeah, I watched a wild one last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
Bakimono, Japanese horror flick.
Oh, I got to check that one out. I love those Japanese.
Yeah, if you're into gore, that's a good one.
Nah, I can't go bad with gore. All right. Last but not least, before we bring on our guests, we just want to mention the latest issue. It's got Eileen Dietz on the cover, got a lot of great stories, including a big piece on Screamify, which is a great new streaming service just for indie horror films. Mother of Flies, which is the Addams Family is at it again, and their film just won Fantasia, the only North American film ever to win Fantasia, so it's amazing. And then, of course, we do a retrospective on my original first film, Web of Darkness, and so much more. So definitely check it out. It's online right now. Next issue will be coming out in November. Oh, there is one last thing I want to mention. Our good friends at Tarot Cards. Tarot Cards is an app that you can get on your phone. It's a free download. Definitely check it out. It's such a cool thing. It's basically a trading card game that you do online. And what you do is they make all these deals with these different independent films, and each independent film puts out a certain amount of trading cards. You can trade cards. You can get cards for yourself and collect them, trade them with your friends. And if you collect all of them in a set, they give all kinds of prizes away. So definitely check it out. Such a cool, unique app. It's free to download. You can get it on the Google Play Store or the App Store. Definitely check those out. All right. I think we covered everything. Anything else that I'm forgetting?
I don't think so. I should cover everything for now until we have more exciting news down the pipeline,
which is on the way. But let's not keep our guests waiting any longer. We have the beautiful and scary Sarah Webb. So what we're going to do, as we usually do, is we're going to show you a trailer. This is from her movie Damsel of the Doomed that actually played at our last Indie Horror Junkie Film Fest. And I believe this is her first feature film, but we'll, of course, have her correct us and beat us with a stick if we're wrong on that one when she comes on. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and bring you the trailer so you can check it out, and then we'll bring on our guests. And here you go.
I will never tell you where my daughter is.
This coven finds you guilty. The witch will burn!
Hello, creeps. My name is Scarah, Damsel of the Doomed. Showtime.
I got a surefire plan for you to make some serious cash.
You have talent, that special something. I'm a talent agent.
I give a journal to all my clients.
Write down your intentions or desires in that book, and the magic makes the manifestations happen.
Manifest the future.
Give me the book!
This object carries around the typical energy plus something extra.
I feel like everything I'm writing down in that book, everything I want to happen, is actually happening.
I mean, do you understand how much money we are wasting as the weeks go by?
Do you believe in the power of manifestation now?
I kind of have to at this point.
You really are a witch.
I'm the king witch, motherfucker.
That's a pretty rocket trailer, I got to admit.
I forgot how fun that movie was.
Thank
How you doing, Sarah?
I'm good. Hi, junkies, I had to say.
Yes.
It is my first feature film, by the way. You're right. So no beatings have to occur for now. You're safe.
Excellent. I wasn't looking for it. I'm kind of sore, so. All right. So how are you this fine evening?
I'm doing well. I'm wishing it were a little bit cooler here. I'm in Austin, and it's Hottober right now, as far as I'm concerned, because it's.
You could be in Florida. I have a feeling we're a little bit worse.
I don't know. What's the high today there in Florida?
I think it was
Oh gosh, it was almost 90.
Yeah, we're up there too. We're like, I think it was about 87 for us today.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
it's like winter. All right. Well, let's start going over a little bit of all things, Sarah. First off,
Yes.
I do want to talk about this podcast because I heard that you just had your third episode yesterday.
Yeah, it's called Scarah Scream Theater. It's the podcast companion to my live show, Scarah Scream Theater. I'm thinking I thought it was a brilliant idea to keep the branding the same and have the name the same, but I might have to switch up the name a little bit because it might get confusing. But yes, I have a podcast. I'm doing it weekly, and I talk a little bit about the different horror movies that I've shown at Scream Theater, my live event. I don't really review them or give a play-by-play of what happened in the movie. It's more like I just kind of talk about the making of the movie or some interesting things about it. Or sometimes I'll take a genre and give some examples of whatever genre it's in and, break that down. Just kind of whatever it is that I find interesting, I guess, about the movie and why I decided to show it, on the big screen, which is a blast. I can't tell you how awesome it is to get to pick whatever I want to show and show it on a big drive-in movie screen. It's amazing. It's my favorite thing.
That would actually be pretty cool to have around here, to be honest with you. There's nothing like that on this side of town where I'm at.
We got a couple of drive-in theaters. One in particular that I remember, they do a flea market during the day or whatever. But I grew up, that was our thing out on the weekends, our family thing. We'd go there, break out the lawn chairs and stuff like that, and we lived for those drive-in theaters.
Well, I'm hoping to bring back that culture. I didn't get to go to one until I started doing them. So, actually, it was until I started doing them. I filmed in the movie. I'm a horror host in the movie that works at a drive-in theater, and I filmed at this one, and I hadn't been doing it yet. And so I wrote that part in the movie, and then I was like, why don't I do that for real? So I contacted the people at the drive-in. I was like, can I just, manifest this for myself, so to speak? And they were cool, and they were like, yeah, come on down. So I've been doing it.
That's kind of interesting to know, because I was going to ask, because there's obviously a lot of parallels between you and real life and then Damsel of the Doomed. And it's kind of weird that it's the real life that inspires the movie, but it sounds like the movie inspired the real life transition.
It's both. It's super weird because there's a lot of stuff in the movie that I took from real life events that happened. And then there's stuff from the movie that I wrote that was purely fiction that ended up happening in real life. So it's kind of like a weird art imitates life, imitates art, imitates life situation. It's super bizarre, but I love it. I love it.
So you've only done 3 episodes of the podcast, but how long have you been doing the drive-in thing?
The drive-in, I started in 2023 in September of 2023. So I'm on my 3rd year now.
Well, 3rd year versus 3rd episode. That's
3 and 3, and 3 is a magic number. So very good.
So what exactly is a live show like? Give us the details of what people could expect.
Okay. Well, so the drive-in itself is 2 big screens. We occupy one, but we have to wait until the sun goes down to show a movie. That's the only thing about outdoor drive-in theaters is there's no early shows. So, as whenever it becomes winter and it gets dark earlier, it's different. But we always get there about an hour before sundown at least, and there's a speakeasy style bar underground there. What? It's really cool. Yeah, it's underground. You go underground, they've dug out like a basement type of a situation, but it's this beautiful, kind of 1920s-esque speakeasy bar in there. And we go in there and hang out and, chat with everyone. And sometimes I have special guests down there or treats or whatever. And sometimes it's just us hanging out. We hang out there and then we go up. And then there's this giant zombie head prop that we used for the movie. And my producer partner owns it. And so he brings it out and I climb up on that thing and I call it a sermon. But I tell everyone, I'm like, actually we played the little intro and then I get up there and I talk to everybody about the movie. I have them honk their horns and this, that, and the other and get them all rowdy. And then we watch the movie. And then at the end of the movie, I get back up and say a few more things. And then everybody goes home. Well, we chat a little bit. But the cool thing about those drive-ins, do you guys have Alamo Drafthouse Theater in Florida?
No, unfortunately we don't, but I've heard of it and it sounds amazing.
It's amazing. It started here in Austin. And the best thing about it is they are very serious about no talking, no texting during the movie. They're the ones that started, I think, that campaign, and I love that and I appreciate that. But here's the thing. If I want to go see a movie that I really want to pay attention to, Alamo is great for that. And if you want to see a horror movie at the drive-in with me, you have that option, so you can stay in your car and really focus on the movie and you're going to not be bothered. Or you could do like you were saying, Ricky, where you can bring your lawn chairs and sit kind of closer to the screen if you want, and be under the stars with your friends when the weather's nice, which it often is. That's a beautiful choice. Or there's like this deck off to the side where you can still see the screen and everything. It's right by the snack bar. And that's where myself and my friends tend to sit and watch. So we'll watch and make comments about the movie as we're watching it, and, you know, talk to each other about whatever. It's such a good hang. It's so fun.
That sounds like a blast. So how do you pick the movies that you show? Are these indie films? Are these like classic horror films? Or?
They're classic. I haven't shown indie yet, but that is in the works. I want to work in showing indie horror movies. And I think my plans for that are going to be like once a month. I'm going to work it out with the owners of the theater where it's a different day, maybe, where I do, you know, an indie horror movie once a month on whatever day it's going to be. Because I really want to support indie horror, not only because I have indie horror, but there's a lot of good and fun indie horror out there. And there's a lot of indie horror in my area where, you know, I think that the directors and everyone, the cast and crew, deserve to see their stuff on a big screen. So if I can help promote that, then I'm going to do it. Man,
that would be amazing to see something like that on a drive-in theater.
Yeah,
that would be so cool
we got to screen ours on it, and it was great. The other way is, so for the typical ones, in February, I always show a vampire movie. I think the most well-attended Scream Theater was for when I showed The Lost Boys. And it was also when I showed a Hammer horror film, but that one was because it was on a holiday weekend. And that was such a huge event. I remember I walked down into the bar and there were so many people there. I thought they were there for something else. We draw a good crowd, but there was like double. And I was like, why? You know, and like I said, our crowd's good, but this was outrageous. And there were people there from like Louisiana and San Antonio and El Paso. And I was like, what is going on? But so every February, I tend to show a vampire movie. And in October, I insist on showing Halloween horror. So for me, Halloween horror is,
I mean, it only makes sense.
You know, it's set in Halloween, or there's a Halloween creature involved or something like that. So this Sunday the 5th, I'm showing Trick or Treat, the 2004 one. Yeah. So I've been waiting to show that one. I can't wait. And then the rest of the time, it comes down to like, what do I want to show? You know what I mean? Like, what do I want to see on the big screen? It's so cool. Sometimes I'll do a thematic thing. Like in May, I showed John Waters' Serial Mom, because it's Mother's Day, you know. Yeah. And so sometimes I'll pick based on, like, you know, if there's some kind of a theme during that month, but sometimes it's just random, you know.
So why specifically vampires in February?
I think it's because of all the horror, like vampires historically, people have used vampires for love stories. They've used them for gay love stories. You know what I mean? There's something for everyone there. They're very erotic, you know, the biting on the neck, sucking the blood, all of that stuff. It's always very, there's some sort of romanticism in it. Even though Bram Stoker's Dracula, you know, he's a monster. He's a literal monster in that movie. He does appear as a gentleman at times. So there's still that.
It's an interesting concept. I always found it odd that like February, for whatever reason, is always like a horror release month with like mainstream movies. I always thought that was odd. So
yeah, well, Valentine's Day vampires, to me, they go hand in hand,
right?
And people, there's a vampire community in Austin. I don't know if you guys have one, but we definitely do. We used to have a store here called the Glass Coffin. It was owned and operated by a vampire named Joey Slane. And he's amazing. Amazing. I love this guy. But he has had 3 stores in Austin, and he finally moved, I think, to South Carolina. But there's also like a vampire, what do you call it? What do you call a group of vampires? It's not a coven.
It's not a coven.
It's dangerous what you call it. I don't know. But there's like that's
a good question.
There's a whole pack of vampires. Yeah. There's like a vampire court. That's what it is. A vampire court of Austin. They have like a queen and shit. I'm not joking. Anyway, so there's a bunch of vampires running loose in our city. I don't know about Orlando. Maybe not there because it's too sunny. I don't know.
No, we have. So I'm outside of Orlando, and then there's a little town called Casadega outside of where I live. And Rick's laughing already, but that's a big like witch and warlock town. So there's a lot of interesting things.
Witch and warlocks, eh? Yeah.
Well, they don't like to talk about that because I've been to Casadega a couple times. I did this radio show called No Sleep Tonight, and we actually did an episode on some urban legend that was over there, which is called the Devil's Chair, which takes place supposedly.
I don't think it's an urban legend, Rick. I think it's real.
Exactly. Supposedly it's in the Casadega graveyard. But I've been to Casadega. The really cool thing about Casadega is it's not really considered a city. It's an encampment.
Yeah.
And the only people that live there or that can live there are all psychics. It's supposed to have the highest amount of psychic energy in the world or something. So people are coming there, and all the people that live there are all psychics. So you can get a lot of readings and cool tours. But they're really good people and really nice people. And it's a great little town. But I really enjoy it.
There's like one road in, one road out, and like one road sign. If you miss it, you don't see it. It's gone.
It's pretty small. Yeah.
Really is.
That's cool.
Speaking of which, we talked about your movie Damsel of the Doomed. I want to get to this comment here because we have comments coming in. One of our judges, Mary, had a little comment on here for you. Where is it? I guess she saw the movie. Oh, here we go. Very fun movie, Scarah. So
scary. I like that.
Mary. Yeah. It's okay. You know, it's funny. Sarah and Scarah, it's pretty interchangeable. A lot of my friends call me Scarah even when I'm not in Scarah costume, so I'm used to it. I'm like, that's all right.
Do you know Jamie Hill by chance? She says, hi, hello, Sarah there.
Maybe we're Facebook friends. Jamie, are we Facebook friends?
She played the mom in the movie Skinamarink.
Oh, cool.
Wow. Yeah, she's a regular here on the show, and
nice.
She's great. So,
well, hello, Jamie Hill.
Yeah, Ross Paul. Hello, Ross. All right, so let's get into this real quick here. Well, first off, I did want to ask you something. When I was chatting with that gentleman before, he was mentioning to me that you're heading to Salem. Is that true?
Yeah, and we just found out in November we are going to Salem because I'm also in a band called The Immortals. I don't know if
very cool.
I think I told you all that. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Anyway, and we have a new music video for a song called Spooky Shit. And it was directed by Boudreaux Partita of Penny Rock Productions, and it was produced by Penny Rock Productions and also Horror Webb, which is the production company I'm part of. Anyway, so we've got selected to, and I'm trying to find the name of the film fest. I can't find it right now, but there's a cool film festival that we got our music video selected to play, and it's November 8th. In Salem, and I'm so excited because I've never been to Salem, and I'm like, wow, like what an opportunity to the first time I get to go to Salem. It's, you know, at the end of spooky season, and I get to show my video about spooky shit that I love, and it's going to be in Salem, so I couldn't turn it down, and I found a good flight, so that helped.
I've never been to Salem myself, but I've had so many friends that have been there, and says you've got to go.
It's called Beyond something. I don't remember, but
I've been to Salem, North Carolina.
Well,
not quite the same.
I've always wanted to go too, of course. But during October, I work at a haunted attraction called Bat City Scaregrounds. Now, I don't want to go to Salem in October, though. It's way too packed. That's not for me. But I do want to go when it's chilly. So the options were like either right before October or right after. And so this kind of presented itself and I had to jump on it. I'm super excited about that. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. So Spooky Shit music video airing at the film festival.
Yeah.
Take notes, Rick.
Oh yeah, I'm taking notes, trust me. And I'll reflect back on this podcast later.
Do you guys show videos at yours?
Yes, we do.
Oh,
I was
cool.
just going to mention to you at the end, maybe we can see if I can get into our Indie Horror Junkie Film Fest.
That would be great. I really wanted to go to y'all's film festival, and I can't. There's some kind of conflicting event, so I couldn't make it when you were screening Damsel, and I was so sad. And then we got like the magazine that y'all did. You sent it to the director, and he had me over to look at it, and it's so awesome. Like, thank you so much for going the extra mile and doing stuff like that. Like, how supportive. Not everybody's like that. You guys get it. Very good.
Well, I'm an indie filmmaker myself, and I know there's not a lot of resources out there. I mean, all the magazines that I love, Fangoria, Rue Morgue, and they're great magazines. I have nothing but love for them, but they mainly target the mainstream films and stuff like that. So I wanted to put something out there that's going to, raise the flag for people like myself.
That's
and
awesome.
Ones who, can't get that kind of notification. So,
congratulations on your first feature, The Clock, and then I'm excited to hear more about. Is it Reels of the Dead?
Reels of the Dead.
Reels of the Dead. But The Clock, I'm gonna have to check that one out. I saw it streaming on like almost everything, so that's good.
Yeah. It's getting picked up left and right. It's on all the big streaming services and ones we've never even heard of. So that's good.
Yeah.
I did notice there was a few on the list. I'm like, I don't know any of those yet.
I know. And there's a new streaming service out there that we have in the new issue. We did a piece on. It's called Screamify.
I wrote that down. No, I hadn't. And I saw it on your graphic and I was like, what is Screamify?
It's all just indie horror films.
Nice.
So it's like $2.99 a month, and it's they've got just indie horror. The Clock's on there, and a lot of other indie horror films that have been in our magazine before. So definitely want to support them because they're all about indie horror. So
that's wonderful.
I will say for the people watching, if you like The Clock, buy the Blu-ray because the extras is worth the purchase. The what is it? The old audio.
Well, The Clock is based on an old-time radio show because growing up, I used to listen to these old-time radio shows at night. That's where you have to, like the theater of the mind kind of thing. And there was always one episode that I remember from this old show called CBS Radio Mystery Theater, and it was called Hickory Dickory Doom. And it was about this couple that bought a grandfather clock at a garage sale, brought it home, and found out that it was a gate to hell. So that in wildness ensued. So I always loved that. I always wondered because you always see so many movies out these days and everybody's making a sequel and Fast and the Furious 27 and Sharknado 18 and this and that. And I'm like, there were so many good audio shows that I thought would really be good movies and something original. And nobody ever did that. So I decided, that's it. Damn it. I'm going to do my own.
That's cool.
The Clock, which is based on that story. And on the Blu-ray, like he said, what we do is I explain that, go over that, and we actually play the entire radio show so you can hear it on there so you can see where our inspiration came from. Because all the radio shows are in public domain now. So,
really cool. just the extras is worth the purchase.
Oh, cool. Where do you can go online and get it?
And you can get it at indiehorrorjunkie.com. You can go into the merch store, and that's where you can buy a copy of it there. Yeah, we got it on Blu-ray.
You can also get cool shirts.
Yes.
Nice. Oh, yeah, both got it on.
Yep, we try to rep the brand everywhere we can.
Fabulous.
All right, let's get into Scream Theater, okay?
Yes.
This is the graphic that I have here for you right now. Tell us a little bit about this and what's all listed there.
Okay, yeah, that's what we were just talking about. That's the live show. That's the zombie head I climb up on. It's the first Sunday of every month, and it's at Doc's Drive-In Theater. And yeah, we're going into our third year now.
That's the zombie head you climb. That's the actual size and everything.
Yes.
Who built that thing?
That is insane.
I cannot remember the prop maker that did it, but I've seen the zombie head in a few different horror movies before. One in particular, I think it was maybe The Haunt it was in. Briefly, you see it, and we got it. My buddy that owns the haunted attraction, he's also in Horror Web Productions with me. He purchased it a while back, just thinking it would be good for something, and it was on. He got a good deal for it. So I don't remember the name of the people that made it, but it is really great. And then an artist named Mandy Phantom repainted it for us recently, so it really pops. It looks awesome.
Dang, all right, so for that show, we have a little trailer that you sent.
Yeah,
you want to get
this is. Now? We shot 3 commercials for Scarah Scream Theater to play on the internet. And I wrote them all, and my friend Corey directed them, and we had some help with a couple different cameramen. One was Vin Scott, and one was Boudreaux Partita, and this one's called Axe. It's my favorite of the 3, I think.
All right, well, here you go. Let's check it out.
Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat. With a large assortment of freshly made beverages.
Scarah Scream Theater. I'll make you scream one way or another.
hot dog days, that is, somehow have a way of turning out to be fun days. The pop and sizzle of the juicy meat seems to say, come and get me, I'm done to a turn.
I love it. Very cool.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Oh, I wish we had something like that over here.
I know.
It was fun to make. We have access, since I'm part of a production company, I was like, why don't we have commercials for this yet? We need to throw some stuff together. So that was really fun to make.
Very cool. Very cool. And you said this has been going on 3 years now?
Yes, this is our third year. Our third year started last month. So,
well,
okay.
Props to the drive-in too for allowing that to not only happen, but continue. That says a lot about them.
Yes, yeah, they're great. The people that own it, Chris and Sarah Denny, they're really great. And everybody that works out there is super welcoming and awesome. I also do murder mysteries for them in their bar, in the speakeasy style bar. I do those often. And those are really popular. And again, I'm always surprised when I do. This sounds bad, but I'm always surprised when I do something and it's popular. I'm like, why are all these people here? Every time. It never fails, unless it's except for the band. I expect there to be a crowd for the band, but I think that's because it's more than just me. Yeah. There's a lot of people in the band. Well, there's 4 people in the band, but anyway, so the murder mysteries do well too. I forgot about those.
Now, how long have you been in the band? How long has that been a thing?
We started the Immortals during COVID, during the lockdown. My band members were
interesting time to start a band when you're not allowed to be around anybody.
Yeah, we're in Texas. We didn't, we had our little pack. I forgot what they called it, but you basically could have your little pack of people, but you didn't go out elsewhere. Anyway, my band members were in another band together, and they'd been together for years, and that band was called Residue. And it kind of came to its natural end. One of the band members had a baby, or their wife had a baby, and Residue had just kind of slowed down and stopped playing. Meanwhile, the guitar player of our band, he had always wanted to do a horror themed band of some sort. He didn't know if he wanted it to be psychobilly, rockabilly, punk, horror punk, whatever. And around the time that he was their band was coming to an end, I cut a slow acoustic version of the Misfits Halloween.
Oh, cool.
And a friend of mine shot the music video for me, a friend of mine named Blue Osiris. And we put that out there. And so he heard that and he was inspired, I guess, to see if I would be a good fit to join those guys. And it worked out. And it's super awesome to be able to step into a band that kind of already exists. All of our material and the vibe and everything's different than what they were. But those 3 guys have been playing together for a long time. So they all know and gel really well. So I just had to find my vibe and fit in with them. And it works. And the band does really well, actually. So that's another really fun project. We've gotten to play in New Orleans a bunch. We're in Austin. We play, in Austin, of course. We're going to headline Nosferatu Festival this year.
Oh, wow.
I think that's in February. And we just played Trees in Dallas. We play all over Central Texas, really. And we've thought about going overseas. That's still kind of up in the air. If it happens, it'll be a while before we pull the trigger on it. But that's a maybe. That would be a bucket list thing, I think, to go play somewhere in Europe.
So actress, writer, director, band, podcaster, speakeasy host, live host.
Not quite a director, but I am a producer. Yeah. I leave the directing for others. I might direct from the sidelines, you know what I mean? But I don't. I don't take credit.
So how do you manage to juggle all of that? I mean, that's a lot on a daily basis.
It is a lot. And I feel like I just you definitely have to stay on top of things. And if you let anything slip, everything slips. So I try to stay on top of things as much as I can. I work with similar people that have the same kind of commitment. And I don't, I continue to do things even when I don't want to, when it comes to building something. You don't always want to, do something. I don't always want to, well, I don't want to say what I don't always want to do because that'll sound negative, but you don't always want to, you know what I mean? You have to force yourself.
Just muscle through it.
Yeah. And I think most people don't and won't. And that's the difference, I think. So just staying on top of things and muscle through it. I like that. Pushing through, just getting it done. And then like you'll start to see things come together. And there's a lot of things I do that are super enjoyable. Some things that I do are work. With everything I do, there's an element of work. Like for Scream Theater, I have to do promos for it every month. So I do a picture promo and a video promo. And it's always related to the movie. We don't like, the movie's always a surprise, but you can really tell what it is by the promos, you know? And I work with someone named Dr. Abominable or Paula Russell, and he's the one that helps me with all of my art. But I have to, you know, get up in costume, whatever the costume is, plan the costume, write out whatever script and I'm going to use and learn it. And all of that stuff is work. People ask me all the time, like, oh, I bet that's so fun. Like you get to dress up and there's fun to it, but it's more
still
work. It's more work. Yeah. It's very, it's not easy. But I do it. And then after you do it or while you're doing it, then you can kind of start enjoying it. But all the stuff, it's like, oh no, that's just work. But I think it's all worth it. So I wouldn't do it if I didn't think it was worth it.
Yeah, you have to have a passion for it. It's got to be something that you would do for free if you had to.
Yeah, and I have. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, we all have.
Yes,
yes. Of indie.
For years, exactly. That's the other thing is, you know, I don't think people should always do everything for free. But I think like when you're, especially if you're working with yourself or a collective of friends, you just know, like, you got to treat it like an investment for a while. Yeah. And you can't expect to get any kind of currency in as far as money goes immediately, but you get, and I'm not talking about exposure. I'm talking about there's other currency that happens. Everything I've done has led to something else.
Exactly.
And that's how I look at it.
That's been an argument that's because I run a couple of different groups. We have the Indie Horror Junkie group on Facebook, and I also have the Tampa Bay Filmmakers group, and I have about 7,000 members. And that's been some of the things that people have argued about, saying, oh, you shouldn't do anything for free. And I understand that rationale. Believe me, just because people are out there using each other and stuff, and it's not right. But at the end of the day, I've done stuff for free too. I've gone out there because there's, like you said, there's certain currency and there's certain types of currency you can get. You can go out there and network with the filmmakers and the cast and the crew to find out people that you might be able to use on your own projects and get to be on set with them. You can learn different techniques. Also, if you work with the right team, you know that you're going to get something that's going to be a finished product. You're going to have stuff that you can pull through your reel, stuff that's going to be out there that's going to have your name on it, that'll be a part of it. I mean, but there's so many of them that don't go that extra route, that don't get out there, and the movies never get finished or anywhere, so you're kind of wasting your time. But like I said, if you pick and choose and you get up there with the right things, even if you're not getting paid, you're getting paid in other ways, and you're adding to your resume, you're adding to your reel, so it's worth it.
Right.
It's not always about monetary value. I mean, sometimes, you know, and Rick's a good example, and you're a good example because, you know, you're both working for the community in and of itself. You know, I mean, we said it earlier in the show, there's not enough exposure for indie horror or even independent films in general, you know, especially when it comes to like the grassroots type stuff, as Rick likes to say, you know, and some of the bigger magazines, they'll pick up independent films, but like how independent is A24 really? You know, like,
yeah.
But like, Rick is independent. You are independent. Like that's who I want to help. A24 is going to be fine if I review them or not.
Yeah, they're going to do just fine.
Exactly.
Same with like I think Eli Roth has started his own kind of
that's another good example.
Crowdsourcing stuff.
And that's been a point of contention with a lot of the grassroots people because if you go just shooting from the hip, but if you go on Indiegogo and you see Rick's campaign, or then you see Eli Roth's campaign, well, you know who Eli Roth is. You're going to be more aching to help that guy as opposed to Rick. But like Rick's really the one that needs the help, not Eli Roth. He's fine. He'll be fine.
Hey, come on. I can fund a little bit of my own stuff now.
Well, absolutely. I know. I'm just.
I think what it is with Eli and them is I think the studios are the ones like to be mad at here, because they're only really making stuff like superhero movies, and I'm, you know, these very, very big budget movies that they know are going to make them the most return on their investment. And which is funny, because if you look at, you know, Terrifier 2, it broke records on what it made and being an independent film.
That's a fun
It is.
movie.
And 3 did great, and then when they released 1, it also did well. But the way Hollywood's going right now, it's kind of scary, I think, for anything that's not like a giant budget movie, and they've taken all of the art out of it, and they've put in, and it's just commerce at this point. It's not even what they're putting out is not even art at this point. It's just formulaic.
Yep.
You know, big buck stuff. So I think Eli and Robert Rodriguez too, I think they've come around and they want to put out horror movies, and they know that horror movies are actually making money, but I don't think the studio is allowing it for whatever reason. You know, they've got their own like bean counters, and so I think that's why they're doing it. And I agree, like I understand how there definitely is a point of contention for people, but I think like with Eli and stuff, the way that they've got it set up, it's different than just an Indiegogo. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I mean, I remember when I first read about it, I was like, oh, great. Because I've got a lot of friends right now who are trying to get their projects funded. And you guys know how hard it is to get funding for a movie, for a feature length, especially. It's not easy out there.
I know guys that are just digging into their own pockets at some point.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just to make it happen.
A lot of the wardrobe in Damsel of the Doomed is from my closet. You know what I mean? Like you got to do what you got to do. But I have to admit, I have a lot of cool clothes. So I was like, well, let's use what I have, you know?
Speaking of Damsel of the Doomed, tell us a little bit about that. How did that come into existence, and where did the inspiration come from, and how did all that work out, and where's it at now? Give us the whole lowdown.
Okay. So Horror Web started, I want to say around 2019. And we started just doing internet stuff, YouTube things and whatnot. And I had a show on there called Tub of Terror, where I reviewed horror movies from my bathtub. I wasn't naked, although, well, I was topless, but you didn't see it because there's bubbles. Anyways, so I remember Corey got a camera. He wanted to get a camera that would do well in low light, because we're trying to, you know, kind of get the lighting right for Tub of Terror. And he will say it that he's always wanted to direct movies. He's always wanted Horror Web to be a movie production company. I didn't realize that was his desire, but that's what he says. So he got a camera that's a really good Sony like low light camera, and he also is the one that owns the haunted attraction I was telling you about. You guys should actually interview him. Anyway, he owns Bat City Scare Grounds, and so he bought a camera. And then Donovan Kavanaugh, who filmed Tub of Terror, he came out to Bat City one night and followed me around, and I had this candelabra, and I was walking around our haunted castle. And they were filming me with that camera, and the footage was really creepy and really pretty. And so Donovan, I think he made like a fake trailer for a fake movie. And then Corey said, well, let's make a real movie. So we made our first short called Witch's Bargain, and it featured my character, but Corey wrote it. And that one did well in film festivals. This was, you know, like I said, I think in 2019 or 2020, maybe. And then he wrote one called The Black Quarry, and that's out on streaming services now too. And it's a horror comedy about a black metal band, and they're out trying to make a music video, and there's like a creature involved. You know, it's a fun movie. And he made that as a horror short, and he wanted to do an anthology. So it was going to be 3 movies. And so he wrote that one, and he said, why don't you write one about your character? So I was like, you got it. So I wrote Damsel of the Doomed. I wrote it to be a short. I've never written a movie before. So I was following the rule of like a minute per page, right? Every page is about a minute on screen.
That's what they say.
But it didn't turn out that way, because, you know, I didn't like completely describe the action and all of that stuff. So it was a lot of dialogue, and then I wouldn't like put enough on the page to like, you know, really explain, I guess, certain action sequences maybe, or we just didn't take into account for it. And so when we filmed it, it was, you know, it's final runtime, I want to say, is around like 127 or something, an hour 27. And we felt like the pacing was good, and we cut as much as we could to try to shorten it up to a short, and we just couldn't get there. And so then Corey, the director, was like, well, shit, we're just going to release it as a standalone. Now it does connect to the Black Quarry at the end of Damsel of the Doomed. There's a connection to the Black Quarry.
Oh, cool.
But you know, it doesn't. It's a standalone movie, so you don't have to watch the Black Quarry, or you don't have to watch Damsel to get the Black Quarry. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so the third one was just never written. You know? So there is no anthology now. It's just, and then he went back and he filmed an additional scene for the Black Quarry to make it a little bit longer. So it's now like a featurette and or a short feature. It's not a short, but I don't think it's quite feature length yet, but I think he does. It depends on what you think a feature length movie is.
It depends on your definition of feature.
It depends on your definition. Yeah. And there's a few out there. So he's the director. So if he wants to call it, then it's a feature. But it's good if you want to see that one. I think it's on Amazon and Tubi and all sorts of stuff.
Well, really quick before we go back into Damsel, when you mentioned Witch's Bargain, I'm like, a little thing triggered in my head. So while you were talking about it, I looked on my file. It turns out that I knew you before I knew you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did we submit?
We actually screened Witch's Bargain at my Halloween Horror Picture Show. I've still got it on my hard drives. I'm like, hey!
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, that's a little movie. That movie was fun because he wrote that one, and it was very much in a voice that wasn't what I would consider for my character. Mm-hmm. But I was like, yeah, let's see. I'm always down to try out, whatever. And as it was kind of one of those things where as we were filming, he would add a little bit more. And that's not the first movie to do that. It's interesting when you find out like what other movies have done similar things. But it connects also to, so that was the rule he gave me when I wrote Damsel. He said, I want it to connect to the Black Quarry. And he also wanted it to connect somehow to the Witch's Bargain universe. And so there's a connection there too. It's subtle, but it's there. And in the back of my head, I had in mind, how Terrifier, they have the prequel to that is All Hallows Eve, the short that they did with Art the Clown. And I was thinking about that. And I was like, well, if Damsel of the Doomed somehow becomes known out there, successful, however you want to deem that, then, the Witch's Bargain will be a fun little gem for people to find down the line, I think, and see how it began.
Well, Damsel of the Doomed, is that still doing the festival circuit, or is that done?
It is. We just got Best Feature at Austin Spotlight a couple weeks ago. And I think there's still a few more we're waiting to hear about, but it should be ending its run pretty soon. I think it's getting close to the end.
And then what is your plan for it?
Well, we are talking to a few different sales agents, and we want to put it on streaming. I wouldn't mind doing a little theater tour with it. That's always an option, but we're right now in the phase of talking to different people, aggregate companies versus sales agents versus whatever.
Right. And then you guys don't have anything set up as far as like distribution or anything like that?
Not yet. Yeah, we're talking to different companies about it. But you know how it is, like you got to be careful with all of that. Like I've heard horror stories, so we're trying to be careful with it. And then when it's out, I'll continue to promote it probably for another year at different festivals and whatnot.
And any plan? Oh, go ahead, Rick.
I was going to say the reason I mentioned it originally is because I'm a big physical media guy. I love having the DVDs and Blu-rays.
Oh yeah, we'll have that.
And especially with that, I thought that you have a perfect opportunity for some additional bonus features, because a lot of times people will buy physical media even if they haven't heard of the movie because of all the extra stuff they can get. So it's like a value to them. But I would definitely look at putting Witch's Bargain on there.
Yeah, that would be a fun bonus feature. You're right. Yeah, we did a DVD for The Black Quarry, and the bonus feature on that was we did the commentary. Mm-hmm. So the director and myself and the DP and someone else, I cannot remember. Anyway, so yeah, but that would be cool. Maybe Witch's Bargain as a bonus feature. That's not a bad idea.
That's a good idea, Rick.
Especially since it connects to the universe, it makes absolute sense.
It does.
That's why he's a thinker.
Yeah.
Always thinking.
So is there any plans to continue the Damsel storyline?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I get asked that every time we screen it somewhere. Some, people ask me that question. And when I wrote it, I had zero plans to do another one. I was thinking I was lucky to do this one, and that's that. But I think starting in December, I might go ahead and just start toying with some ideas and getting some words on a page to, see if there's a story in me that I want to tell in the universe, and just have something written just in case it does well on streaming and there's a demand for it and I can, raise some funding. I think it would be fun to do another one. I think it would be fun to do another one with some of the friends that worked on the first one, and then some new people as well. One of the things that we did on the first one that was so cool is Horror Webb. Like I said, it started, it didn't start to me as a film production company. We started by doing the YouTube stuff, and we also had a lot of events. So we would do events all the time and for free for people. Like the different, the glass coffin, the vampire store I was telling you about, that's in the movie. There's a couple of different horror festivals that I've done work for free over the years, and they're in the movie. And because I've done a lot of free work for people and have made a lot of friends, I not only wanted to showcase those friends and, show the world like a time capsule of Central Texas, in the horror community here. But I wanted to see if I wanted to showcase them, and I wanted to see if we could use their events and things as locations, since my character is tied to those events and locations. And so everybody that we asked was like, yes. And I think it really upped the production value of the film. There are certain scenes that are super beautiful, and those are my friends, businesses. So it worked out like really well for that.
I think that goes back to like you were saying earlier, like there's different types of currency. It's not always monetary. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it's favors, right?
Exactly.
And some people get that and some people don't. And, that's okay. And I always want to pay somebody something. It's not, I don't always get to pay what they might be worth in dollars. Yeah. But I can pay them something in dollars, and then I can offer them, something else as far as introductions or, getting them in a door somewhere or whatever. That's what I try to do.
Very cool. I love it. Paying it forward.
Yeah.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah.
All right. So as we're getting closer to the end of the show here, why don't you give us a little idea of some of the stuff that you might have coming up that you want to tell people about?
Okay, so all through October, I'm at Bat City Scare Grounds every weekend. I sit on a giant mountain right at the front. When you first come in, I'm the first person you see, and I have candy. I'll give you some candy. I do that in October. My band, The Immortals, we play out there. We're playing Halloween, and I think the Saturday before Halloween. Then my band, The Immortals, is playing the Crowbar in Austin on November 22nd. We have the Salem, that festival we were telling you about, that's on November 8th. November 7th, I have a murder mystery at Mama Merlot's. And then the first Sunday in November, I forgot what day that is, I have Scarah Scream Theater, the live show. You can catch Scarah Scream Theater, the podcast, on all podcast platforms. You could also check it out on YouTube, Damsel of the Doomed on YouTube.
Oh, speaking of which, we have a banner here we can show while you're telling people.
Oh, okay. Let's look at it.
Let's bring it up and leave it up there so people want to.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's all the stuff.
All the links where you can find it.
Yeah, you can follow me on all that. The website right there, that pretty much keeps up all of the dates of everything I do. But yeah, very busy from now and through November. Really, my November's kind of busy, so I'm hoping like I get a little bit of a rest in December, but we'll see. December and January, I'm hoping to that's when I want to write. So, Oh wait, no, I've got some other stuff. Okay, October. The end of October, I'm going to be filming for another horror movie called Blood Hollow, director Vin Scott. Yes. So I've got like a kind of a cameo role in that, but then I'm going to be a script supervisor on set for him. And that is filming in January, I believe. Principal photography is, but we're doing my scene in October because the setting is the haunted attraction I work at. Let me show you my dog real quick. Come here, yes. He just came up. He's super cute. Look at him. Aww. This is Gomez. And I have another one, and his name's Herman. Gomez? Yeah. I have Herman and Gomez. Gomez always likes to be on camera. Herman, not so much. But yeah. So yeah, the other movie is called Blood Hollow, independent horror. And it's a really good script. I read it. And in fact, after this, I have to go and take pictures in various wardrobe to send to the filmmakers to get approval. You know how it goes. Like, oh yeah, when they're like, wear a lighter color shirt. Can you try one that doesn't have as much cleavage? I'm like, oh my God, is this a horror movie or not? You know what I mean?
I'm not sure I want to watch that movie.
I know. I'm like, what do you mean less cleave? I've never been told that in my life. Like, I thought that's why y'all hired me. You know.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, we talked before about physical media and stuff like that. We have Howard Hawkins here chimed in. He loves owning a piece of the movies, mainly a DVD. And we find that, especially when you go and do the conventions and stuff like that, I mean, that's the stuff that you always have to have on your table. That's why I don't think everybody's always so scared now that physical media is going away. And
no, it's not.
They said the same thing about albums when CDs came out.
Right.
Just a couple of years ago, albums outsold CDs. I mean,
they rocketed it up.
But especially for the indie scene. I think the indie scene, everybody has to have that physical media because they attend those conventions. They have those tables laid out. That's what they have. T-shirts, DVDs.
People are collectors. Yep.
Look, I just had a Keaton Toothman from A Very Flattened Christmas send me a special edition VHS, and I'm like, crap, I don't even have a VCR player anymore. I got to go out and find one.
I wish I did.
It's so cool, and I'm like, it's not a normal thing, you know. But I'm like, I got to find myself a VCR.
Yeah, definitely.
But I've been told by people that when people buy those VHSs, they buy that just to stick them on the shelves and stuff like that. 99% of the people, they'll never watch them.
They just want them
for the box art, and stuff.
They have those VHS swaps here all the time.
Oh,
do they do that? Yeah.
Yeah, they do that here too.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yep. So I don't think physical media is going anywhere.
No.
We definitely. I think it's like anything else. We think it's going to go away, and it's going to be like albums. They're going to come back and replace CDs. You know, what's old is new again. Is exactly what's going to happen.
Right.
Well, I think what a lot of people are finding out now is that streaming is convenient. You just turn your TV on and switch to the channel. But what they're finding out now is that a lot of these movies that they like or they want to see are no longer with streaming services. I don't know how many times you get messages saying, come watch this movie before it's no longer here. There was a big article in one of the magazines talking about Lord of the Rings. They said at the end of October, it's going to be leaving its streaming service. And unless you've got it on physical media, there's no way you're going to be able to watch it. So
that's what happened with 28 Days Later.
That's right. Yes.
With 28 years later, everybody was wanting to go back and watch the original, and they couldn't get it. Unless you owned it, like you weren't able to stream it there. So,
well, and the other thing that that's concerning is that depending on the streaming service, when you buy it, you're technically buying a license to watch.
Correct.
That you're not buying it, and it's not like it's yours forever. It should be because you paid for it, but if they lose the license for that movie, then you lose the ability to watch it on that streaming platform.
Exactly. Yep.
That's right. And a lot of people don't know that, but it's absolutely true. And also, let's get and bring this up since we're talking about this, is I always thought like, man, I could think of a great class action lawsuit, which I never would want to do because I wouldn't want to hurt the physical media company. But all those Blu-rays and DVDs that you buy that you see where it says Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy, you're buying that for the Blu-ray and for the movie, but you're also buying it for the digital copy. So you can download the digital copy and watch that without having to take the Blu-ray out and pop it in the player. But each one of those has an expiration date. I've gone back and looked at the time that I bought, and the thing's already expired, so I can't even buy it.
Can't even download it.
Yet I paid for it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And we all have those movies that we want to watch over. Like there's movies I watch once every other year or so, and some once a year, you know, like visiting old friends.
Absolutely. Or as filmmakers, you know, you go back and you watch certain stuff in certain subgenres to give you inspiration for the script you're working on or something.
It's references a lot of times. Yeah. Or you want to see like, how did they shoot that scene? What were the camera angles? Yeah.
I know. That's exactly what I tell my mom every time she sees pictures of my house with 3,000 DVDs in the living room. I just reference. I'm using it. It's work.
You have 3,000 DVDs?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Yes, I do.
Like he said, he loves physical media.
I do. Plus, also, as working the different film festivals and things like that, I've had people send me so many of them because we used to, you know, play them on the DVD players. Nowadays, we copy them over because a lot of the theaters now do just DCPs. So we have to do that. But back in the day, I would get DVDs all the time. Or when I go to visit the different conventions and stuff, I'll want to buy DVDs like Mutilator and this and that, so I can have them sign it and autograph it. You know, so there's different.
How long has the festival been around?
The Indie Horror Junkie Film Fest, we just did our second year this past year. It's held at MegaCon, which we definitely need to get you out to because MegaCon is probably the most incredibly expansive festival I've ever seen. I mean, they get about 250,000 people there.
So during MegaCon, they have a film fest and it's your film fest.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah, MegaCon's got a lot of breakout rooms that they have different things, events, whether it's Phantasmagoria.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Things, and one of the rooms they give us is for the film festival. And
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and then we have vendors outside, so you can come meet the filmmakers and stuff, and talk to them afterward, buy merch and everything like that. So it's a great event.
Okay, yeah, I have to look into that. I like I said, I wanted to go to last year, and it just didn't work out. I saw you had Eileen Dietz on your current issue. I have a funny story about her.
Oh, well, we're a little over time, but we can expand for a minute or two because I've got to hear the Eileen Dietz story.
Okay, I'll make it quick. She's a firecracker. So I was hosting Cult Classic Convention, and she was a guest last year, and she was a firecracker the whole time. Like that lady, she's, you know, she has a voice and she will use it. Anyway, traditionally at the convention center, the microphone that they give me, they pipe it all throughout the convention center, and where celebrity is in the very back, and there's a speaker back there that is super loud. If I'm just talking regular level microphone, it's very loud there. It's just, there's nothing I can do. And it's just going to be loud. So I was in radio for years, so I know how to talk on a microphone, you know what I mean? Well, anyway, Eileen came up to me and she was like, basically like giving me a lesson on how to talk into a microphone. And I stopped her and I was like, Eileen, like, you don't understand the speaker back. It's not how I'm talking. It's the speaker. And she wouldn't listen to me about it. So after that, I made an announcement and I just whispered in the microphone like this. And I just whispered and I was like, you know, coming up next, we have a panel of whoever it was. And I was like, is that quiet enough for you, Eileen Dietz? She didn't say anything after that. And then I interviewed her on the panel and she was fine, you know. I don't think she gave a shit, but
no, she's a doll though. I mean, I didn't get to meet her in person myself, but Amy met her when she went up there to one of the conventions and chatted with her. She gave me an autographed picture and everything, and she said, she's something else.
Yeah, she signed a book for me. She is something else, like, and that's why I like her. Like she's real. You know what I mean? Like,
right, absolutely. Well, Sarah, thank you so much. This time just flew by. I wish we had another hour to go with you, but you sounds like you're into a lot of stuff, and we want to definitely make sure. Let's go ahead and show that image real quick here one more time, so anybody wants to stop, take a picture. Cool. These are all the different places you can find Sarah, her, the band.
Like, subscribe, comment.
Like, subscribe, absolutely. Definitely hit her up. She's an amazing talent, and she does a lot of stuff for the indie horror scene, so definitely check it out.
Maybe whenever the movie is streaming, I can pop back on here.
Yeah, absolutely. We have return guests. Just let us know when you're ready.
All right, I will.
All right, we're going to go ahead and put you in the back room, but like I was telling you earlier, don't hang up yet. We want to chat with you real quick, but we'll be right back with you, okay?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks.
All right. Once again, to the great show. Of course, we're a couple minutes over here, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up real quick. But definitely join us next Wednesday, 8 o'clock, where we have our next guest. We'll have it on the website later on, probably tonight or tomorrow. So anything you want to say in closing there, my friend?
No, as always, I appreciate you having me on, and just thank the viewers for tuning in. And Sarah was amazing, and that's a Damsel of the Doom. That's a movie to look out for. It was a lot of fun. I forgot how fun that movie was.
I know. I got to revisit that one again as well. So, all right. And when it comes on DVD or Blu-ray, make sure you let her know you want to see Witch's Bargain. Okay.
Yes, Witch's Bargain.
Too, but I'm sure she'll want to put her own copy of it.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys next Wednesday.